Most professional ideas don't fail because they lack creativity. They fail because they get crushed by delivery friction. Delivery friction is that exhausting loop where you find yourself trapped in version control, rewriting the same slide deck, and re-explaining the same core concept to every new stakeholder. Look at the difference between these two workflows. On the left, you have that manual, repetitive pitch cycle, but on the right, you have a closed, continuously improving loop. You turn the idea into a live edit web asset, and every update propagates instantly to everyone. Before you can scale an idea beyond your immediate reach, you have to recognize which of these two systems you are currently operating in. To break out of the manual re-explanation trap, you need to diagnose exactly where your delivery pipeline breaks down when it is put under pressure. That is what the 4EI Idea Readiness Assessment is built to do. It's a 15-minute diagnostic, and right up front, the text establishes the rules. There are no trick questions, and there is no scoring for creativity. It does not evaluate how good your idea is. It is strictly measuring whether your concept has the structural preparedness to survive real-world execution. The diagnostic tests if your current presentation can handle enterprise governance, changing web standards, and heavy reuse by other people. This diagram shows how the assessment is structured. It breaks the problem down into 5 specific modules based on the Zachman framework for enterprise architecture, with web integrity sitting right in the center. By stress testing the structure rather than the content, the diagnostic removes subjective guesswork and gives you a literal, practical path to scale your idea. Taking the assessment means navigating through those 5 modules, answering specific questions about how your current materials are formatted, stored, and shared. It probes if your visual representations are stored in scalable formats complying with W3C standards. If you don't know what that means, it provides specific keyword definitions, like SVG vector or noun project standards, so you answer based on technical reality rather than assumptions. At the end of the 15 minutes, there is an immediate trade-off. To get your customized readiness brief, you must submit your name, company, and email to generate a private portal. Submitting your workflow to an unvarnished audit takes a degree of vulnerability. It forces you to admit exactly where your current process is failing. This data exchange is what allows the assessment to sort your situation into a specific technical path built for your level of complexity. This table shows how the diagnostic funnel splits users into different scaling paths based on their final score. Let's look at how this maps out. If you are a solo operator or entrepreneur and your score falls below 15, the assessment classifies your idea as an early-stage knowledge product. The brief will recommend a fixed-price service, typically between $100 and $500, for a digital knowledge product reauthoring. The goal here is vertical scaling. That small investment takes a messy napkin sketch or a static PDF and converts it into a reusable, web-standard digital asset that looks instantly credible to investors or clients. The trade-off is this localized fix solves your individual presentation clarity, but it won't resolve complex cross-team collaboration issues inside a large company. For the entrepreneur, this tier focuses on spending a small amount to remove the friction of being misunderstood during a high-stakes pitch. If your score lands between 15 and 29, you are likely a corporate entrepreneur facing a very different set of challenges. Your initiative already has momentum and is actively evolving, but it is being crushed by version control fatigue. You have misaligned PDFs floating across different departments. To solve this, the brief recommends horizontal scaling, a $6,000 90-day engagement to build a dedicated SharePoint collaboration platform. This establishes a single live edit source of truth that safely connects disparate security domains and stakeholders across the organization. The systemic trade-off here is control. Stakeholders have to surrender the familiar, localized comfort of desktop email attachments and commit to the rigid structure of W3C information standards. This flowchart illustrates that shift. You move the organization away from relying on disposable documents and instead operate on a continuous, live edit web address where lessons learned are immediately applied. By making this larger investment, you transform isolated static files into a horizontally scalable platform capable of keeping hundreds of stakeholders automatically aligned. This brings us to the core ROI question. Why pay between $100 and $6,000 to format an idea that you can just pitch via PowerPoint for free? The problem with the free method is its linear limitation. Every single time your idea is shared or updated, it requires manual effort, which puts a hard cap on its total reach. This illustration shows the alternative. It compares a standard presentation to the exponential compounding value of a live edit web interface over time, mapping the massive difference between iteration 1 and iteration 12. Fractional updates to a web asset apply instantly to all users, using minimal bandwidth. That saves thousands of collective hours that would otherwise be lost to miscommunication. The upfront cost and structural friction of the 4EI process pays off exponentially by permanently eliminating those manual communication bottlenecks. Ultimately, the 4EI assessment is a diagnostic funnel designed to prescribe specific digital transition services, but the unvarnished audit it provides is highly valuable on its own. It's ideal for two specific groups. First, the pitch-ready entrepreneur, who needs to translate a complex concept into an instantly credible, vertically scalable asset. Second, the stagnating intrapreneur, whose corporate initiative is drowning in cross-departmental friction and desperately needs horizontal, cloud-first alignment. Who should avoid it? Anyone still in the pure brainstorming phase, whose core concepts are changing entirely from week to week. This framework requires locking an idea into a formal delivery lifecycle. You cannot do that if the idea itself is still searching for a purpose. But if your idea is viable and you are ready to face the pressure of execution, this 15-minute diagnostic will map the exact technical path required to ensure it survives.